Hi, this is Pooja and welcome to Food Without Borders. Today we are going to make some spring-ish muffins. I say spring-ish because the weather is kind of there. It's kind of warm, but it's not really. But I'm going to start celebrating spring. So this is my first recipe, which is a muffin made with lemon and blueberries. I think you guys will love it. So let's get started. To make these muffins, you need your oven preheating at 350 Fahrenheit, which is about 177 degrees Celsius. And now we'll work with the liquid ingredients. Now, I have a bowl here with eggs. To this, I am going to add some sugar. So I'm using maple sugar. That's my choice of sweetener, but you can use whatever sugar you want. Avocado oil. Now, any odorless oil would do. Vanilla extract. All right, now we'll mix this all together until they're all nicely combined. Now we're gonna work with our lemon, and here's what we are going to do. Rule number one, zesting your lemon. Always wash your lemon before you zest it, because lemons have pores, and these pores can track a lot of pesticides or any kind of fertilizer that the grower uses. So make sure you get an organic lemon, you know where your source is, and make sure to wash it thoroughly. Now that we have passed that phase, I am going to zest this lemon, and you are going to zest it only to about where you can see the white part. You do not want to zest the white part because that's where the bitterness is. And I am going to zest it until I get about a tablespoon of the zest. So now the reason why I gave you the measurement in a tablespoon is because if I said zest of a lemon, some lemons are yay big, some lemons are yay big, and some lemons are as big as my face. So you will be so confused, and then you don't want it to be way too zesty either, right? So the perfect choice of measurement is 1 tablespoon, and we're gonna loosely pack it. So we're not gonna pack it in, just like so, roughly. This lemon rendered about a tablespoon. Now I am going to juice this lemon here. I would recommend using fresh lemon juice. If you are zesting the lemon, then may as well use the juice. Now I did zest it before I'm getting the juice out, because it's easier to zest it before you juice it, because this is the third time I'm doing this, because every time I said it all wrong. So it's easier to zest it before you juice it. Get it? In goes the juice. We're gonna combine the zest and the juice too. So now let's work with our dry ingredients here. I have some all-purpose flour. You can use gluten-free flour. I have tried it with gluten-free flour and it works perfectly. You can use almond flour in this recipe. That works great as well. So now it's paleo-friendly and it's gluten-free. Now to this flour, I am going to add some baking soda. Give this a good mix. I do have some blueberries here. I am going to toss some of that flour and baking soda mixture into the blueberries, and I'm going to set this aside. However, I just realized I should have removed a couple of blueberries to the side, and you'll see why. Let's just do it. Don't make my mistakes. It makes your life easier. And now I'm going to sift this into the liquid batter. I am going to add the salt in, and I'm using kosher salt. I'm using coarse kosher salt, and if I try sifting it, it will stay in the sift. Now with a spatula, I'm gonna mix this all together. So folks, the most important rule in baking, when you see the liquid ingredients have combined really well with the dry ingredients, you are now sure that this is ready to go in the oven. So mine looks pretty ready. And now it's time to put the blueberries in. So what I did was I added a teaspoon of, or about roughly a tablespoon of the all-purpose flour into the blueberries. This is only because I don't want the blueberries to sink to the bottom of the pan and they will burn. So I'm just tossing them in some flour just to make sure that they can adhere to the muffin, you know, the liquid batter, and they will stay where they are and they will bake and they will look like they're perfectly dispersed in the muffins. So now we're gonna add this. Also wash your blueberries and dry them before you do this. All right, let's fold all these blueberries in. We're not over mixing the batter, we're just folding it in. Now, this is done. I'm gonna clean up this area, bring my muffin tray, and then we'll put it together and bake it. I'll be back. I just prefer not using those muffin wrappers, or cupcake wrappers is what you call it, or liners. So I have to take this additional step of greasing my pan. Now this is a non-stick pan, but I still, just to be more cautious, like spraying it with a non-stick baking spray. With a pastry brush, I'm going to just make sure all the crevices are nicely greased up. With a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop, and I use this only because I want them to be distributed equally so that the muffins turn out equal. I cannot eyeball to save my life, so this is my handy helper here. Just scoop the mixture and start transferring it. I am making sure I fill this muffin cup only 3/4 of the way. I'm not overfilling it because then they'll spill, they'll stick to each other, and I don't know. If that's the look you're going for, go for it. And you might be like, Pooja, why is your batter so sticky? Now my batter and the consistency of my batter is different because I'm using maple sugar. Now that kind of has a sticky consistency to it. If you're using regular sugar, you may not have to deal with this. This is something that over time I have gotten used to and I can perfectly work with it. And anybody who works with maple sugar knows that it kind of gets sticky. But if you're using any other sweetener, you may not have that problem. I set some blueberries on the side. Now why I did that is, you can see that this is a blueberry muffin, but then when you see those blueberries on the top, it just makes it look so much more prettier, right? So I'm just gonna roughly stick these in on the top. All right, this is all set to go into the oven for somewhere between 18 to 25 minutes. And I say 18 to 25 minutes because every oven is different. And I will let you know how long this took for me. Usually they take about 20 minutes, but who knows? I'm using a different oven this time. Also, I would say in 20 minutes, if you want to see how done it is, you can stick a toothpick or a knife in the middle of one of the muffins, and if it comes out clean, it's done. So I'm going to go stick it in the oven and I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, folks, we are back, and they might look like it's bleeding blueberries, but they smell amazing. Now, they baked for 20 minutes and then I had to let them sit for another 20 minutes in the pan to completely cool off because I'm not using any muffin liners, so which makes my situation a little harder, because if I try pulling them out when they are really hot, one, I might burn my fingers, and two, they might break, and then that just makes a mess. So I want to be sure that they come out perfectly on camera, so I had to wait. Now let's try dislodging one of these. Let's take a deep breath, Pooja. Okay, this is easy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm drooling. All right, let's cut in. There you go, guys. Look at that. That is perfection right here. It's really soft and moist, and you can see all the blueberries there, perfectly dispersed. Now let's dig in. Oh my gosh, the flavor of lemon and the blueberries. I was lucky enough to have these blueberries that were a little tart and a little sweet, so this just worked beautifully. I'm not always that lucky because I use a lot of blueberries in my smoothies and they are usually blah, but these are pretty flavorful for blueberries. They're tart and it's just perfectly sweet, something you need in the morning with your coffee. Now, the written version of this recipe with the measurements and everything is on my blog, and I will leave a link to it in the description box. Let me know how you like this recipe and give this recipe a try. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, because I love making these videos and we can be friends right here and have muffin together, you know. So I will see you next week. Until then, bye. I'm gonna pretend that I'm still eating, right?
It doesn't matter, you swallow it. If you swallow it, there's no pretension. You just put it back down and just finish to talk. But no, you have to chew the whole thing.